There's a moment every football legend reaches where the game starts asking a different question. For Cristiano Ronaldo, that moment is coming. Because one day the goals will stop, the sprints will slow, and the spotlight will shift from what he produces to what he builds. And that's where it gets interesting. Because managing isn't about being the best player anymore. It's about making everyone else better. So if Ronaldo steps into that role, does he create another winning machine? Or does the game finally ask him to master something completely new? To understand what Ronaldo the manager might look like, you have to start with Ronaldo the player. This is a man who built his entire career on standards that are honestly ridiculous. We're talking about someone who reportedly stayed after training every day at Manchester United to practice free kicks and finishing. Someone who turned his body into a machine that could still compete with players 10 years younger. Someone who has scored more Champions League goals than any player in history, 140 of them. Ronaldo doesn't just want to win, he wants to dominate. And that mentality alone could make him fascinating as a manager. Because imagine walking into a dressing room where the coach is Cristiano Ronaldo. Not a former player, not a club legend, Cristiano Ronaldo. That name alone commands respect. Young players would listen, veterans would listen, sponsors, media, fans, everyone would pay attention. But here's where things get interesting. Great players sometimes struggle as coaches for one simple reason. They expect everyone else to think like them. And very few people on earth think like Cristiano Ronaldo. If Ronaldo ever did decide to step into management, the first question would be simple. Where would he start? Because football history shows that jumping straight into a giant club can be dangerous. Even legends get burned. But Ronaldo does have some interesting options. The most natural place might actually be Sporting CP. That's where it all started. Back in 2002, a skinny teenager with frosted tips and frightening pace made his professional debut there. Within a year, he was on his way to Manchester United. Sporting would offer something very important to a first-time manager: space to learn. It's a big club, but it doesn't carry the daily global pressure of a Real Madrid or Manchester United job. Ronaldo could build ideas, experiment with tactics, develop young players. And let's be honest, fans would love the story. Ronaldo returning home to lead the club that discovered him, that sells itself. Another possibility is the Portugal national team. Ronaldo captained Portugal to its greatest moment when they won Euro 2016. Later came the Nations League title in 2019. He's already the country's most iconic football figure. International management might suit him too. You don't have daily training sessions. Instead, it's about motivation, leadership, and big tournament mentality. And Ronaldo knows tournaments. Across World Cups and Euros, he's scored in 5 different World Cups, something only a handful of players have ever done. Imagine him giving halftime talks in a knockout match. That energy alone could lift a team. There's also the club he's playing for now, Al Nassr. This might be a little odd, but it makes sense and comes with the least pressure. Ronaldo moved to Saudi Arabia in 2023 and extended his contract through 2027. His presence has transformed the Saudi League's global attention. The club trusts him, the league values him, and the environment might allow him to grow as a manager without the extreme scrutiny of European football. Now the headline jobs. Manchester United, Real Madrid, Juventus, these are the clubs where Ronaldo became a global superstar. But they're also some of the hardest managerial jobs in football. Take Real Madrid. That club expects trophies immediately. Managers don't get time to learn. You either win quickly, or you're gone. Manchester United has its own complications. Constant media pressure, rebuilding projects, and the weight of history. Juventus? Same thing. A club where finishing second can feel like failure. Could Ronaldo manage those teams one day? Sure, but starting there would be like learning to drive in Formula 1. If you enjoy football breakdowns like this, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Alright, back to the big question. Football history gives us plenty of warnings here. Being an incredible player doesn't automatically translate to coaching success. In fact, sometimes it makes coaching harder. Let's look at a few examples. Zinedine Zidane is the dream scenario. He was a football genius as a player. Then he became Real Madrid's manager and won 3 Champions League titles in a row from 2016 to 2018. No manager had ever done that before. Then there's Pep Guardiola, a brilliant Barcelona midfielder who became one of the most influential coaches in football history. His Barcelona side won 14 trophies in 4 seasons, redefining modern possession football. Another good example is Xabi Alonso, a classy midfielder in his playing days who recently turned Bayer Leverkusen into an unbeaten Bundesliga champion. But for every Zidane or Guardiola, there is a Gary Neville. Gary Neville was a Manchester United legend. As Valencia manager, his team won just 3 of 16 league games before he was sacked. Thierry Henry, one of the greatest strikers the Premier League has ever seen, struggled badly in his first spell at Monaco. Frank Lampard had a difficult run managing Chelsea. Wayne Rooney has bounced between several managerial jobs trying to find stability. The point is simple. Playing football and coaching football require different skill sets. Players solve problems themselves. Managers have to teach other people how to solve them. And that's a completely different challenge. Now here's the interesting part. Despite all those risks, Ronaldo might have some qualities that translate well to management. First, standards. Ronaldo has built his entire career on extreme professionalism. At Manchester United, teammates used to joke that if you sat next to him at dinner, you'd end up eating grilled chicken and water while he talked about training. Imagine a squad under a manager like that. Fitness levels would be high. Discipline would be strict. Training sessions would be intense. Second, mentality. Ronaldo is obsessed with winning. That kind of mentality can change a dressing room. Players often respond to leaders who have actually done it at the highest level. And Ronaldo has done it everywhere. Premier League titles, La Liga titles, Serie A titles, Champions League trophies, 5 Ballon d'Or awards. When someone with that resume tells you how to prepare for big games, you listen. Third, experience with elite managers. Over his career, Ronaldo has played under Sir Alex Ferguson, Carlo Ancelotti, Jose Mourinho, Zinedine Zidane, and others. That's a masterclass in football leadership. If he absorbed even half the lessons from those coaches, he'd have a serious foundation. But there's another side to this story, and it comes back to that same mentality. Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the most driven athletes football has ever seen. But most players are not Cristiano Ronaldo. They don't train like him. They don't recover like him. They don't think like him. If Ronaldo becomes a manager, he might expect players to match his obsession. And when they don't, frustration could creep in. We've seen this happen with other great players who became coaches. They struggled to understand why normal players couldn't execute ideas that felt simple to them. Another challenge would be patience. Take for instance, he is in Arne Slot's shoes. The owners have given him a lot of money to spend on players, but the players are not delivering. How do you think a typical Ronaldo will react? Ronaldo has spent most of his career operating at the highest level. Adjusting to the everyday grind of management might not come naturally. So it begs the question, what will Ronaldo team actually look like? Based on his career, you could probably expect a few things. First, high physical intensity. Ronaldo teams would likely emphasize fitness, athleticism, and relentless pressing. You can ask Evra about this. Second, direct attacking football. Throughout his career, Ronaldo thrived in systems that attacked quickly and punished defenses in transition. His teams might prioritize speed and aggressive forward movement. Third, mental toughness. Ronaldo has built his legacy on moments when pressure was highest. Champions League knockouts, finals, big international games. His teams might adopt that same mentality. Never panic, never quit. And if that culture spreads through a squad, it could be powerful. So do you think Ronaldo will make a good manager? If you enjoyed this, subscribe and drop a comment on where he should coach first.